Men ain't shit. Women ain't shit. Humans ain't shit. If any of those statements I just made caused you any level of discomfort, good. I personally don't care for any of those statements myself. I just wanted to make a point, and hopefully most of you all picked up on it. Greetings and welcome to another episode of Shaken Not Stirred. I'm your host Martini, and today's episode is on a subject that I think deserves more than enough emphasis and attention to, because it's quite literally what will determine the fate of highly melanated people as it relates to our very existence hundreds, if not thousands of years from now. The so-called gender war, particularly within the black community. Now, before I jump into this episode, I want to preload a few things for anyone who is watching with any kind of unreconciled childhood traumas, unresolved parental issues, or little to zero self-awareness. I know that the world that we live in has commodified just about every aspect of the human experience and places an unusually peculiar emphasis on anyone who shares their thoughts on certain topics to be an expert or highly credentialed to make certain statements about a particular topic. Well, I'm not going to satisfy those viewers' appetites, because I'm here for one reason and one reason only. And that's to provide practical, sensible, and an entirely different perspective on the solutions to many of the issues and problems that face the black community. Now, if you are a human being who wears a mask to function in the world that we live in currently, no shade, no judgment to you, I highly submit that you go ahead and hit that not interested button and continue on your life journey with much safety. If you are a human that is tired of wearing the masks and tired of the status quo, then please stay for a while. Something just might pique your interest. So now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's go ahead and cook. The world I grew up in as a child is not the same world that we are living in currently. I remember there was a time when critical thinking was lauded and encouraged, and going to school was actually anticipated with excitement. For me, at least, it was a time when the understanding of the nuclear family was celebrated and appreciated to some degree, at least, and it was actually okay, for the most part, to be a kid. Well, those times have long disappeared, and the world that we currently live in is not the same, particularly with regards to the so-called gender war between black men and black women. Now, there are no shortages of videos in this YouTube space with myriads of content around the problem with black men, the problem with black women, and for a very long time I didn't understand why it has been going on for as long as it's been, but I get it now. I'm not going to join the endless sea of finger-pointing content, because I've never really understood the concept of blaming someone else for your own personal response to an injury or harm that they've caused. What I am going to attempt is to provide some insight around why we need to hurry the F up and eliminate this divide ASAP, or the end result is something that we're not going to appreciate. The reality of why this stupid war has still been going on is pretty simple. It's to continue keeping the most cosmically powerful people on the planet as crippled as we can possibly be apart from each other, so that we can continue fueling the beast for as long as we possibly can. Now, I know some of y'all are probably wondering, okay, Martini, so what? I've heard this many times before. What's the solution? Well, it's pretty simple on paper, but extremely difficult, not impossible, to apply in reality. Y'all ready for it? One word. Heal. Yes, chattel slavery did happen. Now, whether or not you believe it is your full-fledged prerogative. That's not going to change nor erase both history and the end results of said history. When I say heal, I'm not merely talking about mental health. No, I'm talking about physical health, psychological health, spiritual health, and emotional health, your whole being. I'm also not talking about the appearance of those healing works either. Intentionality has to follow. So I'm not going to spend too much time or too much more time on this subject, because I think at this point in human history, there seems to be a shift that's starting to take place, an awakening almost, like I've never seen before. And in the decades that I've been alive so far, And I will say this, black people, are you not tired enough yet? Are you not weary enough yet? What is it truly going to take for us to wake up? I'm 1,000,000,000% sure that this video won't reach those who actually need it, as the platform itself is an apparatus of the beast. I get it. But I'll leave you with these parting words. What do you think the world would look like for black people 50, 100, 1,000 years in the so-called future if we see each other as enemies right now? Peace and blessings.